All right, welcome to today's training, the 10 things not to do before buying a home. Of course, I'm your host, Nia. If this is your first time ever hearing a training from me, please make sure you drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Drop down if you have any questions. I'll be sure to answer them. If this is your first time here, make sure you click that subscribe button. Welcome to my channel. All right, let's get into it. So, 10 things not to do before buying a home. Now, if you're going through the home buying process, it's very easy to make costly mistakes and it's very easy to do things that will cause you to get denied during the home buying process. As we know right now, the market is crazy. If you heard or you talk to anybody that's in it, the market is really crazy right now. So it's important that you take your time and prepare your finances because it's an ugly world out there right now. So in my eyes, that's just more reason to take your time and get yourself prepared correctly. Most of the time when we prepare for home ownership, all we do is work to get our credit fixed so that we can achieve pre-approval. It's just so much more to the home buying process than just getting pre-approved for a loan. Like after you get pre-approved, you have to actually get approved. You have just so many other parts to it. If you're not sure and you need to know, then you need to be at my home buyer happy hour. It will be on Wednesday, May 26th at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. I'll drop the link in the comments below so that you can sign up if you're interested in signing up. But trust me, oh, hey, Steph, how you doing? Trust me, if you're looking to buy a home, you don't want to miss this happy hour. It's going to be packed with information. It'll talk about how to get pre-approved. It'll talk about like when you're actually searching for a home, give you some great tips and tricks. It's going to talk about sellers markets versus buyers markets. It's going to talk about the actual home buying process and a lot of the information and closing, a lot of costs and stuff. So like, just trust me, if you're looking to buy a home, you need to be at this home buyer happy hour. It's going to be again Wednesday, May 26, 2021. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time, and I will drop the link below for those who want it. Okay, so let's get started. 10 things not to do before buying a home. All right, so why are you here? You're here if for one, you're a first-time home buyer. Maybe you're learning about this process. Maybe you've already been pre-approved, so you're looking to start the home buying process. So you're wondering about it and the different parts to it. So this process, the underwriting process, will be something that you will need to know about. Trust me when I tell you. You're here because you're preparing to purchase a home. So maybe you are, maybe you are I'm sorry. Maybe you are trying to get your money together, you're saving your down payment, you're clearing your credit, and you're working on those things. Maybe you have no clue what the underwriting process is, so you thought maybe I should listen to this and find out. Or maybe you know a little bit about it, but you're looking to understand more and find out more. So either way, all those things, this training is for you. Hey, girl, hey. All right. So who am I? Why should I listen to you? Of course, shameless plug. This is me in front of my investment property I purchased last year in November. Looking at that picture and looking at my face, like I can tell how much weight I lost. Like I can see it in my face. I promise you, I can see it. But my name is Nia. I am, oh, hold on. Bam. My name is Nia. I am a speaker, author, certified financial education instructor, real estate investor. I'm the creator and founder of Perspectives. Perspectives is a personal finance education company. We take women from struggling and stressed about money to empowered so that they can achieve their financial goals in the paycheck to paycheck cycle and achieve home ownership. I purchased my first home personally at age 27. I have a debt-free degree. I financed my own undergraduate education out of pocket, single mother to a now 20-year-old. And ask any gold digger around. And if you don't know what a gold digger is, I have a Facebook community called the Gold Diggers with a Z community. And what we do is we dig for goals. Okay, we dig for our goals so we can achieve them financially. It's a safe judgment-free zone where you can come to level up your finances, okay? And if you're interested in purchasing a home, I shared my entire journey when I purchased this home right here in this picture. All you need to do is go to the topics in the group and look under my REI journey, okay? So with all that being said, I'm really excited to use my street cred skills, take all the experience that I have and save you the time and help you get the results that you crave so much. So we're going to get into it. But I had to come and tell you who I am before I start spitting out information at you. It's only right. It's only right. So first, I want to introduce you to the secret weapon to home ownership. The secret weapon to home ownership is my baby that I created. As like I said, when I was purchasing that home, I would get so many questions to my post inboxes, people asking me questions and telling me things that they just didn't know. Like I would drop a post telling about a different part of the process, and people will be coming to me like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you couldn't make big purchases while you were going through buying a home. I didn't know you couldn't buy a car while you was trying to buy a home. Like, what? Like, these are the type of things that I was getting or people was coming to me and saying. So with that being said, I wanted to think like, what can I do? I'm passionate. I'm very passionate about personal finance, and I'm very passionate about us leveling up so that we can get better about our money. So I created this program to help you prepare for home ownership. So this program will include uh, helping you buy a home. So raise your hand for me if you can, if you would love to have your own home buying dream team. And what I mean by home buying dream team is this is a dream team that's dedicated to helping you. They're not making any money off your home purchase, but they're dedicated to helping you and educating you on the home buying process. To be able to go step by step with a real estate broker that has 16 years of experience. We'll talk a little bit more about it later, but I just wanted to introduce you to it because this was a baby that was born out of me purchasing my investment property last year. It is a 90-day program, and it'll help you purchase your dream home, even if you're clueless about the home buying process. Okay. So, oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Ha ha ha. So we're here to talk about the underwriting process. So just so you can understand what the underwriting process is, this is a graphic to show you where to start. So say you find your home, you put an offer in your home and your seller accepts your offer. At that point, your application is received. After it's received, then it begins processing. After it begins processing, then it gets underwriting. Underwriting is the last step before your loan is approved and cleared to close. And that's why this step is very important. Do you see that? This is the last step before you get that final approval and clear to close, which gets you your keys to your new dream home. Okay. So that's why I wanted to take the time to really break down a little bit more about this process, and so you can help you understand the things that you should do to avoid having any problems with it. Okay, so let's keep going. Underwriting. Underwriting itself is the process through which an institution or individual will take time. They're basically taking a financial risk, but they're charging you for it, which is usually the interest fee, or there's plenty of other charges that are included. Title fee, they have to prorate your title. Like, it's so many other fees that are charged. If you're in the secret weapon of home ownership, we do break down all those different fees and actually use a closing disclosure to show you what those fees look like. But it's important to know when it comes to the mortgage process, a mortgage underwriter's job is simply to find out your risk. They want to know what the overall risk is. It would be of you not repaying your mortgage, which basically means if they're paying you, say your home is $250,000, what is the likelihood that you won't be able to pay that back? So their job is to scrutinize your finances, your credit, your prior bill history, and determine the likelihood that you would default on that loan. That is the underwriter's job. So likely they're not someone who's very liked by many people. Let's just say that. So I always add this meme to my presentations because it is so true. Underwriter will ask you for everything. It is one of the most frustrating processes about buying a home. And it is, if you have been through the process before, please drop down in the chat and let me know. it's very frustrating. You're constantly faxing documents. They're asking you really mundane, very technical questions, but they know what they're doing and they have a reason why they're asking them. And it's very frustrating, but the best thing to do is to just listen to it and give them what they're asking for. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it's very frustrating, very frustrating. All right, so first want to get into a couple of terms. LTV, which is your loan to value ratio. Your loan to value ratio tells you how much of the property you own, and it compares it to how much you'll owe. So basically it takes the amount of the property, say your property is $50,000 is what your property is worth, but you're taking a loan for $30,000. So that's basically what it does. It takes that value and it divides it and gives you a percentage. All right. And we're going to talk about what a good percentage is on the next slide. The debt to income ratio, or the D to I. The DTI is the ratio of your monthly debt obligations and is divided by your gross monthly income. So what this tells them is how much debt you already pay, how much debt, like how many bills do you currently have that already has a claim to your paycheck. That's what the DTI tells them. And the loan officer uses these different values to determine how creditworthy you are, how likely you are to pay them back their money. That's because that's really what it all boils down to. The 4 C's of underwriting, which are very important that they look at, will be credit, capacity, collateral, and capital. Credit, we know what that is. Collateral is basically your ability, things that you have to hold against the loan. It could be maybe you have a 401k plan and you have money sitting in reserves in your bank account, or like different things like that. So it's not really that they want to, hold anything against you. They just want to reassure that they'll be able to get their money back once they give it to you for the house. Can you elaborate a bit? Credit limits don't necessarily count into DTI usage. So no, I didn't say credit limits. I said your monthly debt payments. So it's the amount of debt and payments that you make every day. So it's how much things have a claim on your paycheck. So if you want to take your monthly, I don't know, your monthly gross budget, and you have this amount that you have as your budget, you budget that you get, I don't know, we're gonna say just $2,000 a month for an example, and then you have $1,000 in bills that you have to pay. That's what they will use to calculate your debt to income ratio. It's your monthly payments. It's the things that have a claim on your paycheck, your current rent or mortgage that you're paying. If you have a car note, any monthly credit card bills that you have to pay. Because think of it this way: if the mortgage company, lender, whatever you want to call them, if they see that you make $1,000, but you already have $950 of people who are looking for that $1,000 that you make, what's the likelihood that you're going to be able to pay a $1,500 mortgage? It's just not going to work. So they're trying to determine what you already are responsible for paying to see if you can afford to pay this new mortgage for the house that you're trying to purchase. That's what, like, does that explain it a little bit better? Simone, let me know if that explains it better for you. Yeah, no, the credit part was for just the underwriting process, period, because they look at your credit. Let me know. I'm going to keep going, but you come back and let me know if that answers the question for you. Okay, so what does the underwriter look at? Here we go. This example I'm using, I have my source at the bottom. I got it from bakerate.com, and it's basically talking about underwriting guidelines for a specific mortgage approval. The maximum loan to value, and remember we discussed loan to value was the amount of loan that you were taking compared to the actual value of your house that you would be owning. So the maximum loan to value ratio would be 95%. Credit score of 620 or higher. Now for FHA loans, they do say that you can have 580 as your credit score. But it's important to know that just because FHA says that you can have a 580, FHA themselves are not the one giving you the money. So you have to go by whatever criteria your lender is dealing with. To me, if you have a lower credit score and you're looking to get a home, I would suggest you look for a mortgage broker, as opposed to one specific lender, because that mortgage broker will have multiple lenders that they work with, and they'll be able to tell you off the bat which mortgage allows you to get the 580 credit score and still get your home. So and actually, that mortgage broker, I have the mortgage broker, she's teaching the mortgage portion of the secret weapon. And she's going to go through all of that and talk about different credit situations. And she's going to talk about, we actually had a conversation today. She's going to talk about what happened if you file bankruptcy multiple times. She's going to talk about if you have student loans, because they have that new rule. If you they have to count 1% of your student loan payment. So it's important to know that just because FHA only requires you to have a 580 credit score, that does not mean that the lender has to accept that 580. As a lender, being a private institution, they have the right to set whatever criteria and guidelines they want in order for them to lend money. So all lenders don't allow 580 credit scores, even if it is an FHA loan. So that's something important to know. 620, I think, is a higher score that will be more widely accepted by lenders. If unless you already know for a fact that lender will allow you to have a 580. Maximum debt to income ratio. To remind you, debt to income is your monthly payments versus your gross income. Your gross income is the money you get before the taxes have been taken out. So this for this specific loan, they're looking for you to have a ratio of 36%. Reason being, like I said, they want to make sure that you're able to comfortably pay them back their money. That's what it's always about. It's not cut, it's not cut super strict though. If you do fall short in one of the areas, you still might be able to get approved, because if another area is very strong, it can help compensate. For example, if it's going to be your primary resident, they might give different and better considerations because it's not going to be an investment property. You yourself will be living in it, which you're more likely to maintain the home that you're living in. Okay, so just to give you an idea, it's not cut and dry, but I just want to give you ideas and information about how this underwriting process works and what type of things that they're going to be looking for and at. Okay, so costly mistakes to avoid. The underwriting process is very intense, so you have to be prepared to supply documents. The goal of this training is for these tips to help you with this process and help your process go as fast as it possibly can. Now, how long does the underwriting process take? That depends on the market and everything that's going on. I would say on the average, maybe 45 days if nothing goes wrong, but obviously it can happen quicker. It can happen in a longer time. It can be 2 months. It can so it really just depends, but I feel like a good average is about 45 days. Okay, making sure we didn't have any additional questions. We're going to keep going. So tell you about my program, the Secret Weapon to Home Ownership. This program will include a realtor, which is really a real estate broker. It's going to have a mortgage broker, a credit specialist, 2 home inspectors, and of course, moi, a personal finance educator. The sole purpose of this program is to help educate you and assist you so you can finally purchase your dream home once and for all. Now, last time I gave the home buyer happy hour, I had everybody ask me to add a real estate attorney. So I'm literally actually in the process now of locating a real estate attorney so I can add them to the process. And their goal would be to educate you on your rights during the home buying process, the role of the attorney during the home buying process, and your rights during foreclosure to help you avoid foreclosure. Because a lot of times when we find ourselves in trouble, we choose to avoid the problem. When we knew our rights, we would be more comfortable with handling it, and we can avoid foreclosure altogether, because that's the purpose of the Secret Weapon to Home Ownership. I don't only want to help you and educate you to get the home. I want to help you stay in the home and you leave the home on your terms, not on anybody else's. That's the main goal of the program. And that's why it's the secret weapon, because it's not something that we're educated on. And especially not the way we educating, because I've talked to my speakers, I talked to two of them today, and it's just going to be very exciting. Like, it's not going to be your typical, oh, I'm just reading from a screen. Like, we're going to do a scenario for the first one to go through the home buying process and go through like some of the things that can happen. We got handouts. Like, it's going to be not your typical training. It's the training that you never knew you needed. That's what it's going to be. The training that you never knew you needed. Oh, hey, Tiana. Oops. So here we go. The top 10 mistakes that you do not want to make during the home loan process. And see, I got my girl over here. Let me move this out the way. The feeling when a client gets a new credit card in the middle of underwriting. That is something that you absolutely do not want to do. Do not apply for new credit while you're going on an underwriting, while you're in the process of purchasing a home. The reason why you don't want to, because for one, the underwriter is going to ask you about that inquiry. They're actually going to ask you about inquiries that happen shortly before you apply for the loan. Like, let's just be real. They want to know what the inquiry was. They want to know why you got it. You have to just write a short explanation for it. And then they want to know if it resulted in any new credit. If it resulted in any new credit, they want to know what it was. You'll have to send them the statement if it's something that hasn't hit your credit yet. And the reason why is because they're going to calculate whatever your payment is for it towards your debt to income ratio. So that's an important reason why you don't want to apply for credit, because you don't want to affect your debt to income ratio, because that's going to affect the amount of mortgage they will qualify you to purchase, which is going to affect the amount of house they will qualify you to buy. Like, so you see, it just gets too much of it. Like, so just don't do it. Just don't do it. Do not miss any current loan payments. Any bill that you have while you are going through the home buying process, please pay it. Please pay it. Do not pay it. Make sure that you are paying any bill that you have while you are going through the home loan process. Again, if you're just tuning in, I am having a home buyer happy hour next week where I will go through more of the home buying process. It is absolutely free, no obligations at all to anything. I'll drop the link in the chat. I think I dropped it in there already, but I'll do it again for those who want to go. Hold on. Just to know. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Yes, I said that rent is factored into DTI because that's your current bill that you have. So you have to submit what rent you're paying. You have to submit what proof of what you're paying, rent or mortgage, whichever one that you're paying. That's your current monthly obligation. So they're definitely considering it as part of your mortgage. I mean, they could definitely consider it as part of your monthly debt, because whatever rent you're paying, they compare it to whatever mortgage you would be paying. So depending on if your mortgage would be higher than what your current rent is. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they definitely factor whatever current monthly obligations you are paying, and you have to send them proof of like what you're paying. So either a copy of your lease, a ledger from your landlord showing them what the payment is. Oh, do your research. Do your research. I say do your research because many times we go into this process and we don't look up anything. We don't find out anything. We don't ask any questions. We don't really know what to do or how to do it. So make sure you do your research, because you don't want to end up at the closing process and you haven't done something. You didn't do an inspection. So you're buying this house and you find out this house is a lemon and this house is not a good purchase. So make sure you do your research, due diligence, whichever term you would prefer to use. Avoid changing jobs. If you're changing jobs before it, that doesn't show a stability. They most likely want you to have the same job for 2 years prior. However, if you change jobs, but it's in the same exact field, they will take that into consideration and you might be okay. So like, for instance, I work for the federal government. If I transfer to another federal agency, I still technically work for the federal government. So it wouldn't be as big of a big deal as if I left my current job and then I became a makeup artist. And now I'm starting this new business. that's a huge change in income. It's a change in the stability of your pay. They don't have a track record of your income to go by. So that will be a big and huge issue for your underwriter. Then don't make large deposits, because if you make large deposits, they're going to ask you about it. They're going to question you about it. Where did it come from? Where did you get the money from to deposit it into your account? And it's going to just open you up to a lot of different questions and things like that. So you want to make sure having funny bank account activity or unusual bank activity is a reason that loans have been denied before. So you want to make sure that you are just watching your moves, because they're watching them. So you need to make sure you're watching them. So I wouldn't make any large deposits. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure don't have any questions. Okay, so next. Do not lie on your loan application, because everything that you put on that original loan application, you're going to have to verify. That is literally their job, to verify the information that you dropped. When you put that you have student loans, they have or if you don't put that you have student loans, they have a system. Now, I don't remember the mortgage broker, like who's doing the training, she was telling me about it, but it's a system they can check to see. So don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. Don't spend your closing money. If you got this money sitting to the side to be your down payment and closing costs for your home, do not spend it and then get to the end of your transaction and now you can't close because you don't have the money that you're responsible for bringing. Like, watch your money like a hawk. Be strict about your money. Be strict about your budget. You're walking into this transaction. You need to be ready and prepared for the amount they tell you to bring to the table. So please don't spend your money. Hold it close to you. Also, you don't want to overextend yourself. Like, so you don't want to sign yourself up to buy more than what you need. When you first start the home buying process, you will get what is called a pre-approval letter. This pre-approval letter will come from your lender, and it will basically say you're approved for this amount of house. It'll usually have your interest rate on it. This is the letter that you take to your realtor so that you can let them know, hey, I'm ready. I can look for a house. Okay, but you don't necessarily have to look for a house that's at the top of that pre-approval list, because you never know what's going to happen or anything. So when you look so high at that pre-approval amount or so close to that pre-approval amount, you're signing yourself up for a lot of house, and it's very close to what the lender considered to be your limit for what you should be paying. So don't overextend yourself, because then you walk into your house poor. The slightest emergency will completely derail your dream home. So you don't want that to happen. I've seen plenty and plenty of horror stories of people who had things happen. I screenshotted one the other day. She had like pipes burst and all type of things that the sellers, I mean, it's possible that the sellers didn't know, but it's possible that the sellers did know. But her pipes burst shortly after she purchased her home, and she was going back and forth with the home warranty and all of this stuff 5 days after she just closed on her home. So you don't want to overextend yourself and walk into the house poor, which means that the house takes up all your cash. You have no money to save for any emergency fund. All the coins that you had, you used on your closing costs. Like, you completely overextended yourself. Like, how are you going to pay for the move? You know, how are you going to pay for furniture? Like, all of those things. You also don't want to make any large purchases while you're going through this process, while your loan is being underwritten, because making large purchases, like maybe a car, maybe you go buy a car, maybe you finance some furniture, things like that. You don't want to make those type of purchases, because again, they're going to affect your debt to income ratio. They're going to affect how much money you're responsible for paying. Do not wait until you close to purchase a car. Once you get your keys and you officially close, your loan is approved, wait till then. Do not do it during your loan process. Like, trust me, because then you're going to have a whole bunch of paperwork and questions you're going to have to answer, and then you're going to have to provide that information. So, okay. And then don't shift your finances. If you submit these bank statements and these are the bank statements and information that you sent, keep it the same. Like, so if you have not gathered anything else from these 10 tips, the biggest part about these 10 tips is that not to make sudden changes. The application that you use to submit for your loan, you want to kind of keep those situations very same, very similar to what they were when you applied. You don't want to make huge moves. You don't want to make large deposits or withdrawals. You don't want to make any large purchases. You don't want to apply for any new credit and get any new inquiries. Don't change. So try to keep your file looking the same way it was when you got pre-approved, and that will give you a higher success rate of approval, of final approval, okay? So other top mortgage denial reasons that have been received, of course, problems with the property, you have a history of missed mortgage payments. Just because you cleared your credit and your credit is a 750, you still have to be responsible for your past credit history. It is important, and that's why we have a credit specialist come into the secret weapon, so they can educate you on how to behave with your credit to get you credit ready for your mortgage. So just because you've raised your credit, maybe you've paid things off, it's still going to not look good in the last 12 months. You have missed mortgage payments, or you got missed payments. Even if you did pay it off, if it shows in the last year or two you had missed payments, that's going to be a problem. Naturally so, because just think about it. If you had somebody you was trying to get them some money and you look at their past history and they wasn't paying them back, what certainty do you have they're going to pay you back? Like, how do you know they're going to pay you back? So that's what you want to think about. Again, I provided my source down. It really included other issues, but I already talked about them in my 10. So I didn't want to repeat the same information. So I just included the ones that I hadn't already talked about, so I can give you guys as much information as possible to help you get ready. So we're going to keep it going, keep it going. All right. So we talked about what not to do. I'm going to give you some quick to-dos. I know that this training is supposed to be about what don't to do and what mistakes not to make when you're buying it. But I cannot, in good faith, tell you what not to do without giving you some information about what to do while you're going through the underwriting process, okay? For one, you need to stay organized. Sometimes you have people who will not keep the documents you send. They will not send them to who they're supposed to send, and they may re-request a document that they already requested the first time. So stay organized, keep your stuff ready. Me personally, I created a file on my computer, so when I scan something and sent to them, when they ask for it again, I had it already ready. Two, you want to respond quickly. The quicker you respond with what they're looking for, the quicker your process, your application will get processed, okay? So they ask you for something, move it, move it. When I bought my first home, we still had faxes. Let me tell you this. When I bought my first home, we still faxed everything, and I worked outside as a mail carrier. So I had to literally like beg my customers to let me fax documents, let me get documents faxed over so that I can get them to the underwriter. Like it was serious, okay? Next, send your financials automatically every 30 days. If you're going through the process, every 30 days, they're going to need your new financials. So be proactive, send them automatically to your loan officer, your mortgage processor, underwriter, whoever's in touch with you, that's telling you the additional documents that are needed, send them. And remember, stay organized. So once you send them to them, you put them right in that file that you have, that you're keeping all your documents in. And then, like I said, look for less than you can afford so you can live comfortably, because I want you to be a homeowner. I want you to be in your dream home, but it's important to remember sometimes maybe your dream home might not be your first home. Maybe you got to buy a starter home and work your way up to your dream home. And then by the time you get to your dream home, you've built some things, you've learned some things. So delayed does not mean denied. And that's important to realize, but you want to look for less than you can afford so you can be comfortable and you can be prepared for an emergency. Okay. Now, with this secret weapon, I'm gonna keep telling you about it. I gotta come tell you about it because this program is the bomb. So I'm giving you a chance so you can get it right the first time. The goal of this program is to help you avoid costly mistakes that first-time home buyers make. First-time home buyers, all they know is they need to get their credit, what they need to get their credit to. They don't know anything about appraisals, inspections. What happens if the inspector finds something that needs to be repaired? What do? What can you write off as a part of being a homeowner? What are the benefits of being a homeowner? What about if I want to buy a property as opposed to buying a home that I live in? All of these things are talked about and discussed in the home buyer program, in my home buyer program, the secret weapon to home ownership. So this gives you a breakdown of like what the topics are. I'm only allowing a small intimate group. So there's only 12 people allowed. I already have 4, so we only have 8 slots left. So you better get in. Doors close June 1st. At June 1st, I don't care if it's just those 4 people that signed up, doors will be closing in. You're getting trained by experts in the field. Also, you get a private community. Each training comes with the Q&A section right behind it. So that's the reason why I'm keeping it to a small group, and I'm keeping it only with 12 people, because I want you to have the ability to, even though it's not one-on-one, it's giving you like a small focus group that you can ask the expert as many questions as you need. When are you going to get a dream team like this, who they're not a part of your transaction, so their sole focus is to help you and educate you? They have nothing to gain by educating you this. They're literally just here to help educate you on the process. Where are you going to find that? You're not going to find that. First, we're going to talk about the detailed overview of the home buying process. As I said, we're going to go through a full scenario. I'm going to be the buyer. The real estate broker is going to be my realtor, and we're going to go through the full home buying process from pre-approval to close. And of course, we got to throw some loops and hoops in there so you can see what type of things will happen, and you can understand if they do happen, that it's okay, it's normal, and you're not freaked out and making your process much more stressful than it has to be. Then we're going to take a deep dive into home loans. Like I said, we're going to talk about if you filed bankruptcy, if you had a previous foreclosure, if you have student loan issues, your student loans in default, like what do you need to do to get that pre-approval, to get that yes? That's what my mortgage broker is going to come in and teach you. Credit ready. We're going to get you credit ready. Credit specialist, which is actually on the line right now. She's actually on the live. She's going to come in and tell you what you need to do. So the mortgage broker is going to tell you what they're looking for you to come with your credit, which we're going to spend about 45 minutes. Like I talked to her today. We're extending it from an hour. We're going to make her session an hour and a half because that's what she wanted to do, because we're going to spend 45 minutes of that time on credit alone, telling you what she needs. This lady has 26 years in the game, and she's going to tell you what you need. She has different lenders, so she knows about all different type of credit situations. So then we're going to come back and have the credit person tell you, okay, well, this is what the lender looking for. Let me tell you how to get it. All right. Then we're going to talk about preparing your finances. How do you create a budget to decide how much home you can afford? We're going to talk about preparing your down payment, preparing your closing costs, getting all those things together. Then we're going to have a real estate attorney, thanks to my request, and they're going to come in and tell you how to avoid foreclosure. They're going to tell you about your rights as the consumer during the home buying process. Okay. Then I got 2 home inspectors coming that they're going to break down the home inspection process, why it's important, what are red flags, what you should be looking for, what to look for in a home inspector. And then finally, I'm going to come back and then I'll do a training comparing a primary resident versus investment property. So we're going to talk about where do you find tenants? How do you manage the property? We're going to talk about property manager, how to interview and look for a property manager. What are some of the type of things you need to do? How to manage your financials for your property as a landlord. Like there are a lot of free resources that you can use that does not necessarily mean you're dropping additional money, but we got to talk about the good and the bad. Well, I'm not just going to come in there and tell you, oh, it's just beautiful, it's wonderful, oh my God, I love being a landlord. Me being a landlord has its ups and downs, so I'm going to share that with you. I'm taking all my knowledge. We're taking all our knowledge, all our time, all our training, all our education, all of our certifications, and we're bringing it down into one program just so we can get you ready. That's what we're doing. So if you want to sign up for it, I can drop the link to it also in the chat. Again, you want to use the code happy hour, which is going to give you 15% off. This is it's the last 2 weeks before the program starts. So that's why I'm giving this discount. Hold on. Dropping it down there. Bam. So what you also get, because I definitely believe in under promise and over deliver. So I got to give you more. You already getting 6 trainings with 6 experts in the game, and you get 6 Q&As with them. So anybody who conducts a training, 2 days later, you get a full Q&A with them. Don't worry if you're unable to attend any training, if you're unable to attend any one of them, you will get access to the training, not only during your 90-day period, but the following 90-day period, you'll get access to it as well. And then after that 90-day, the second 90-day period, so basically you'll get access to it for a full 6 months, that you can go watch the replay. And then if you're going to attend the training, whatever questions you have, that's why I give 2 days. You have time to watch it. You can rewatch it the second day. If you miss it the first day, you can watch it the second. Provide us with your questions. Even if you can't attend the live Q&A, we're going to make sure your questions get answered in it, okay? You get a free copy of my book, The 30-Day Money Challenge. I'm going to give you my pre-approval checklist, a 10-minute budget workbook, because if you're going to buy a house, you need to use my favorite thing, which is a budget, because you can't just be buying houses all willy-nilly. You're going to get my digital savvy budget planner. This budget planner has financial bucket lists in there, holiday shopping budget list, spending tracker, debt repayment tracker, savings tracker, like all of the different little tools you have conveniently. And then I'm going to give you an Excel budget spreadsheet also. So if you are a digital person, you are locked and loaded on this. And again, I only have 8 spots left. I'm only allowing 12 people in this program. As I say, it starts on June 1st. Are you ready? Let's go. So I dropped the link in the chat. Oh, great evening. Hi, Karen. How you doing? I dropped the link in the chat for you. Anybody have any questions? I'm also including my information. Here is my email. If you want to shoot me an email, I have my Facebook information, my Instagram, as well as my YouTube. This training will go on my YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch it, it'll be available here in the group in the Gold Diggers community, and it'll also go on my YouTube channel. So like I say, I'm always here dropping information, trying to help you guys get your home, but get your home as an educated buyer, and get your home as someone who knows about the process and get things done. So let me know if you have any questions and we can go from there. Oh, who mad? Why are you mad? Somebody put they were mad. Why are you mad? What's wrong? Why are you angry? Why are you angry, my child? Who did it? Let's see who's angry. Oh, Karen, why are you mad, Karen? What's happened? What's happened? All right, you guys. Well, you all have a great evening. Adios. Until next time.